Hey there guys, welcome back to Mana Down Under. For this video, we're doing a commander deck idea on your boy Niv-Mizzet, so he didn't die, clearly. So like all commander deck ideas, we're just talking about the commander, brainstorming things you might want to know. No hardcore deck list here, because if you included every card plus land, you'd be well over 100. So, the new Niv can be built kind of two ways. I like the idea of a Planeswalker theme inspired by War of the Spark and a bit of a flavor tribe thing going on. Or you can go legendary, because of the way he's built. So this Niv is 5 mana, one of each colour. He's a 6/6 flyer with, whenever Niv enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each colour pair, choose a card that's exactly those colours from among them, put them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Pretty much, enters the battlefield, every colour pair that's a guild into your hand, so you could theoretically hit all 10 guilds and draw 10 cards, really. It's not a combo deck, it's more of just a card advantage machine. All the cards you'll notice in this video have multiple uses, they give you variety, different abilities to target. This deck is all-rounder, it can handle most things. So first up, we'll go with what I call the resets, because Niv's ability is triggered when he enters the battlefield. So if you have cards that can kind of blink or flicker him, you can reset, draw 10 cards, up to 10 cards. But you don't want to do it too often because you could deck yourself. So things like Venser does double duty. He's a Planeswalker and he can reset any permanent in our deck. That includes other Planeswalkers, and we go heavy on Planeswalkers. Plus he can make things unblockable, so we want to go for commander damage, because Niv is a big boy. He's still at 6/6. Oath of Teferi lets Planeswalkers use their abilities twice, and he resets another permanent. Brago, when he hits a player, we can reset multiple non-land permanents. Momentary Blink, I love this card, bit of a sleeper. You get to reset Niv, you get to potentially draw 10 cards with 10 guilds, and it has flashback. So you can sit in your graveyard, multiple turns later on, your opponent forgets about it, and when you need it, pay the flashback, reset Niv, and away you go. So onto the actual Planeswalkers. Now these are the main meat, the main chunk of the deck. I love Ajani, the new one, the one with the passive effect. +1, gain 3 life is nice, but it's mainly here for the -2. You buff all your creatures and the loyalty of all the other Planeswalkers. He's here for the other Planeswalkers. Ajani Vengeance is very controlling. Tap down permanents, you can lightning, helix things, or if you ever destroy someone's lands, they just cry. That's them done. I love Ashiok, both variants. I like putting pressure on my opponent from different angles, not just Planeswalkers, combat, countering. I like to do a bit of mill and discard as well. So the Dream Render, your opponent can't search libraries, which is very big in Commander, but neg1, mill 4, that's fine. Ashiok the Nightmare Weaver, one of my favourite Planeswalkers. 3 mana for 3 loyalty that goes up +2 straight up to 5 is so hard to chase down and kill. +2, they exile 3 cards, then neg X, you can resurrect anything you exiled with that CMC. The neg 10 doesn't really get used too often, but I love Ashiok, both printings. Vraska and Gorok here are your big beaters. They can destroy things, make big Death Touch or Menace tokens. They're just a general threat for your opponent to deal with. Sorin can give us more card advantage and he just chunks your opponent's life points, but he can also do Burn, which is kind of different for his colours. Now, Nicobolas isn't a 2-colour pair, so you can't get him with Niv, but he's that good and he's that popular right now, I just had to mention him. He's so broken, so nuts. All abilities, really? Draw a card, discard, destroy creatures or Planeswalkers? You win the game? Like, Wizards, come on. Dak Vader and Domri and Dovin here are more of a utility but a support. Dak Vader can draw 2, ditch 2, but mainly stealing artifacts. They're everywhere in Commander, it's great. Domri at first I was like, not really, I wasn't a fan of Domri, but I thought more about it. Buffs your creatures, so makes Niv a 7/6. +1, add red or green to your pool, creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered. That's actually really big, because you do care about Niv getting out to reset your hand. So, there it is, bit of protection, you can't get countered. But neg2, target creature fights a creature you don't control. Well, Niv is a 7/6 now, he's pretty big, he'll win most fights. Dovin's here for just a bit of, lockdown or control against your opponent, make the things a bit more costly or bubble something so it can't come in and do damage. Now, Teferi, Saheeli, Ral, and Narset all support our non-creature theme we've got going on here. So, Teferi makes them play at slower speed. We can cast our sorceries with Flash. For Saheeli, every time we cast a non-creature, we get a 1/1 servo token. We can make an artifact, a copy something else, make him really big. Ral just starts shooting away, pinging damage, and can also copy all our instant sorceries in our deck, and there's a lot of good ones too. Narset, similar thing, can dig through our deck for non-creature, non-land cards, which is the majority of the deck. She can also give our instant sorceries rebound, so we get another copy later on. And when you see the value of our, what I'm going to call guild spells, they're pretty good. So of course, all those Planeswalkers, Atraxa, she works so well in this deck. Probably going to get killed pretty quick, but she'll copy a removal spell for you. The Chain Veil, another great option in Planeswalker decks. Sure, you can't hit them with your commander, but they're that good in this deck, they just got to be here. Now, the guild spells. I've tried to keep everything a 2-color pair so Niv can see it and grab it for you. The charms are a great budget option. You can see here all the different options they give you. They give you a good variety, you can handle most situations. Zori's Charm, Lifelink, Draw, putting attacker blocker back on its library. Boros Charm, Indestructible, 4 damage, Double Strike, that Double Strike can win games, people. Izzet Charm, Counter, Burn, Draw 2, Ditch 2. Dimir Charm can counter sorcery, destroy a creature with low power, can do a bit of milling. Rakdos Charm's a bit more situational, I guess, by exiling a graveyard, killing an artifact, or making all their creatures hit them in the face. Selesnya Charm, probably the least out of the guys, is a buff for creates a token or can just exile a big fatty. Now, Black-White or Orzhov brings some of the best removal, just exiling non-land permanents. Utter End, Anguish Unmaking, and Vindicate can just hit pretty much anything. The D-Spark, the new uncommon, can exile a permanent with CMC 4 or greater. That's pretty good. While Rakdos and Golgari bring us a bit of a Jund theme where they can pretty much hit anything as well. Between Bedevil, Putrefy, Assassin's Trophy, and Abrupt Decay, there's not many permanents on the board we can't kill, and that's where this deck comes into its own. We have that much control, that much removal, counter spells, and all Planeswalkers getting protected need to do what they do. That's how you're going to win. Just kill everything dead, control everything, your Planeswalkers will take over eventually through their advantage and you'll win. Or just, attack with a big 6/6 dragon. While the blue guilds bring a bit of control and counter. Render Silent, Counter Flux, Counter Squall, Dovin's Veto, all forms of counters with upside or something to them. And even the board wipes we've gone for 2 colors. Supreme Verdict and Time Wipe are amazing. Mainly Time Wipe because you can bounce your Niv out of there, blow up the board, and then replay Niv, draw another, hopefully 7 to 10 cards. Casualty War and Merciless Eviction give you so many options. Again, I love having options. This deck can adapt to any situation. It's great. So for support in the deck, kind of hard to decide where to go because it depends on how you want to build the deck. But I think Ramos works really well. Every time you cast a spell with multiple colors, Ramos gets a ton of counters on him. Then you can rip 5 counters, have 10 mana back. Hopefully you can start feeding into a bit of a chain and start really flying through it. Cloven Casting lets you copy your multicolored instant sorceries. Pretty much everything in the deck can be copied with that. And if you're getting all these different options, you can handle any situation there. Assemble the Legion. I've got it here because you don't really have much of a creature base. You've got a lot of control, instant sorcery, a lot of Planeswalkers that can make tokens too, but you want a good army producer somewhere. Doubling Season is expensive. $60 now because of War of the Spark mainly, but it breaks most Planeswalker decks. You can just play a Planeswalker, probably alter it straight off the point, and the value is very good, but it's very expensive. If not, Contagion Engine is $15 and negs the board, then you can pay for, then proliferate again. Putting 2 counters on a Planeswalker each turn can be pretty good as well. Tutors are important in the deck. Call the Gatewatch, search up for any Planeswalker straight into your hand. Mystical Tutor gets any instant sorcery from your library on top, and then Niv can fetch it too if you have to. Eladamari's Call is a tutor for creatures which Niv can hit as well. Pretty juicy. You can run your black tutors like Vampiric Tutor on that, but they're a bit more pricey too. Now mana, that's the big part of this deck. You're a 5-color deck with every spell being multicolor. You need good mana you need to be on point, you need to cast. Chromatic Lantern, it's a godsend. Can tap for any color, all your lands also can tap for any color. Tome the Guild Pack gives you a bit of draw, but also can tap for any color, where Coalition Relic can tap for pretty much 2 colors in a turn, and Firemind Vessel can tap for 2 colors at the same time, all supporting Niv's multicolor theme. Thought Vessel is a really good option because Niv brings a lot of cards into your hand, you don't want to be ditching them, so having no maximum hand size is great. Oath of Nissa does not tap for mana, but it makes casting your Planeswalkers a lot easier by lands adapting to Planeswalkers. As for the rest of your mana rocks, go with your Signets. Signets work so well in the deck, they're clearly the theme of the deck, it's Ravnica after all. Just go with Signets that you lean more into, so if you're definitely running more blue, white, black a bit more in your deck, run the 3 Signets that represent those colours. Now the lands. The land base, there's a few ways to do it, but there's a couple lands every deck should have. Pillar of the Pay runs can add a colour for any multicolor spell. Pretty handy considering the whole deck is multicolor pretty much. Command Tower, it's a must have. City Brass and the other pain type lands do work well on the deck. Just be mindful they're doing damage to you. Reliquary Tower, again that no hand size limit is really handy to have in a deck like this. But the actual main meat of the deck for the mana base, the Guild Gates, budget friendly option, they don't cost anything at all really. And you can have Maze's End in there as a way to tutor up more Guild Gates and have a free win condition in there. I actually like this one a lot because it's very flavorful, very fitting for the deck. Your other option are your tri-lands. They do enter tapped as well, but if each of them can tap for 3 different colors, it pretty much means you'll be on point every time. It's just a bit of a slower form of the deck. But of course, the best mana base will be the greediest. Shock lands and fetch lands. Now, fetch lands are in a really bad place right now. They haven't had a reprint, they're all going up. Scalding Tarn's over $100 now at its cheapest. Even the Karn's fetch lands are getting expensive. I think the cheapest is $20, $25 now. But on the other side, the shock lands are really cheap because they're in their 3rd printing now, they're in standard, and once they rotate out of standard, they'll be even cheaper again. So probably best bet would be a mix of the lands. Don't go full try-hard, 10 fetches, 10 shocks. Probably have a bit of a mix of everything to try and have a good budget and a competitive land base. Now normally here at the end I talk about include your generic removal, your generic things that every deck would need that works in your play group. But I'd probably talk about creatures now, because the deck didn't really run many. You have a lot of Planeswalkers, a lot of good instant sorcery, and you rely on your Planeswalkers to bring most of your creatures to the board. But creatures that you can run on the deck, obviously you want them to be in the guild colors. Some things off the top of my head, the new Leyland Prowler is really good. A 2/3 for 3 that has Death Touch, Lifelink, and can tap for any color. Pretty good. Night of Autumn gives us sweet options. I love having options, having them here on a creature that can give you variety. Baleful Strix, that little $10 pigeon, can do a lot in this deck. Bioessence Hydra is probably your best beater in the deck. It gains counters equal to number of loyalty counters on your Planeswalkers. And whenever they gain counters, it gains counters. The new Niv, whenever you cast instant sorceries, draw a card. Whenever you draw a card, he deals damage, so it's good feed there. But yeah, just pick any creatures that work well, support your deck, and that are hopefully a guild color, because then your commander can hit them. So what do you think of the new Niv? He's pretty cool. He's not like a key piece of the deck. He's not front and center, dead combo, I'm going to win the game outright. But he brings a lot of card advantage. He could draw you theoretically 10 cards in one go. I also do love the flavor and the theme to the deck. Having Niv Reborn as the commander, having all the Planeswalkers that are on Ravnica fighting it out right now, even having the Guild Gates and the Shocklands all present. I love the theme that you can build into this deck. It's really cool. So yeah, what do you guys think of him as a 5-color commander? He seems to be doing well. People are very positive and excited to build around him. Is he the best Planeswalker commander? Does he compete with Atraxa? Probably not if you're going true Planeswalker theme, but he's still pretty good. Alright, let me know your thoughts down below, guys, and have a good one. See yas! As always, thank you to our patrons. These guys are the building blocks for Mana Down Under. They make the channel what it is. If you'd like to become a patron and see the benefits, the link is down below. And thank you again, guys, for your support. Thanks for watching, guys. Please remember to like and sub and click the bell icon for notifications. It's greatly appreciated. And if you have any deck or video ideas, just suggest them down below. And have a good one, guys.